This is the first in a series of lectures for health and social care. The care value base. What is the care value base? The care value base is a set of rules and guidelines that every care practitioner has to follow in order to provide high-quality services to their clients. There are 7 basic principles to the care value base. The principles of the care value base: promote anti-discriminatory practice, maintain confidentiality of information, promote and support individuals' right to dignity, independence and safety, acknowledge people's personal beliefs and identities, protect individuals from abuse.
Let's have a look at each of the principles in turn. Promote anti-discriminatory practice. Every person is an individual. They may be old, young, disabled, have learning difficulties, have a specific religious belief, or be different in many different ways. Activity. Draw a spider diagram to show all the things that make you different to the person sitting next to you. Different but equal. We are all different, but we all have the right to be treated and respected equally. Treating someone equally does not mean treating them the same as everyone else. An individual has the right to have their culture, beliefs, abilities and disabilities, lifestyle choices and needs met through their care plan. Say no to discrimination. The key to promoting anti-discriminatory practices: make sure that the individual's needs and wishes are listened to and met. For example, do not assume that just because a person has learning difficulties, that they cannot make a choice about their care. Just because someone is old does not automatically mean that they like to play bingo. Remember, ask, listen, act. Never make assumptions about the person in your care. Everyone has the right to choose.
Let's now look at the second principle of the care value base. Maintain confidentiality of information. The Data Protection Act 1998 makes it a legal requirement for all organizations to make sure that all personal information held about an individual is kept in a secure place. Records hold accurate information and are updated regularly. Information is only shared with other people on a need-to-know basis. Only essential information is collected. Activity. Make a list of all the essential pieces of information you might expect to find in a care plan. Information in care plans: name, address, needs, next of kin, medication, medical diagnosis, financial information, likes and dislikes, events that have happened to the client, date of birth, risk of falls, personal possessions, hospital appointments, GP visits. Activity. Now identify which pieces of information needs to be updated daily, weekly, monthly, or as required. Who needs to know? As you can see, a lot of information is held about the client, but does every member of the care team need to know everything? No. The care manager might need to know about the client's financial arrangements for paying for their care. However, a care assistant does not need this information, and so it should not be shared with them. If the client wants information to be shared about them with, say, a relative or friend, they should sign a permission slip to allow staff to speak with them. If information is stored on a computer, it must be password protected and only available to those who need to know. All written records should be kept in a locked filing cabinet and only accessible to the staff who need to see them. Now let us look at the third principle of the care value base. Promote and support individuals' right to dignity, independence, and safety. No one should be made to feel foolish or embarrassed. It is common sense to make sure that the door is closed whilst someone is having a bath or going to the toilet. However, many care workers forget that the person they are caring for has feelings. It is easy to hurt that person's feelings by telling them not to be silly when they say they want to die. A care worker might ignore the wishes of their client, and this would make them feel unimportant. Maintaining dignity. A person's dignity is maintained by giving choice and control, communicating with them in a respectful manner, providing pain management, enabling the person to maintain their personal hygiene, providing a choice of appetizing and nutritional meals, providing practical assistance when it is requested or needed, respecting a person's personal space and providing privacy, supporting a person to keep in contact with friends and relatives. Promoting independence. It is important to encourage clients to carry out simple tasks rather than just doing it for them to save time. If everything is done for them, the person begins to have low expectations of their abilities and performance. They may begin walking slower, their memories fail quicker, they underrate their own abilities, there may be a reduced will to live and a direct negative effect on health. Maintaining a safe environment. All organizations have to have a risk assessment in place, and this will provide details of how hazards are dealt with. Individuals have to have their own risk assessment. This will also contain how hazards will be addressed and minimized.
Let's move on to the fourth principle of the care value base. Acknowledge people's personal beliefs and identities. It is important to recognize that everyone has their own personal beliefs. This may be a religious belief, or it may be a belief in a particular moral code. For example, a person might believe that it is wrong to eat meat and they live their life as a vegetarian. Everyone has the right to have their individual beliefs respected. Differences of opinion over belief sometimes cause conflict. However, everyone must be allowed to express and practice their beliefs in the way that they choose. The only exception is if their beliefs break the law. A person's identity is how they see and portray themselves to the world. It might be part of their identity to wear different clothes, eat different foods, or speak in a particular language. A person's lifestyle choices makes them an individual. Clients should always be given a choice in what they wear, what they eat, and how they worship. In fact, they should be given a choice in everything they do. If a client does not want to get involved in an arranged activity, they should not be forced to do so.
Let's look at the fifth principle of the care value base. Protect individuals from abuse. Abuse is the violation of an individual's human and civil rights by another person. Examples of abuse can be physical, mental, social, financial, sexual, neglect. Activity. Using the headings on the previous slide, give 2 examples of each type of abuse. Here's one to start you off. Preventing someone from seeing their family with social abuse. Abuse policies. All organizations must have a policy on how they deal with suspected abuse. Staff are required to report any kind of suspected abuse immediately to their manager. Activity. Read the abuse policy for your organization and write a brief summary of what you should do if you suspect abuse is taking place. We've now moved on to the sixth principle of the care value base. Provide effective communication and relationships.
What do we call you? Just because they know a person's first name, the care worker must never assume that they can use it. Ask the person how they like to be addressed. Speak to the person with respect and never make fun of them. Good communication is essential if a trusting relationship is to be achieved. And finally, the seventh principle of the care value base. Provide individualized care. The care plan should be agreed with the client. The client's individual needs should be met by the care plan. The client should be given choices about the care they receive. The care plan should be reviewed and changed regularly to ensure that any changing needs are addressed promptly. Don't look at the person's age, disability, nationality, size or other single factor. Look at the person as a whole human being with an individual personality, needs, wishes and expectations.